So, welcome to the Team Coaching Communities of Practice sessions. Today's session is on navigating team dynamics, unleashing potential through coaching leadership. On behalf of Agile Ops, sorry about that. On behalf of Agile Ops, I, Carissa Plaikis, want to express our sincere thanks for your presence today. Thank you all for joining us once again. This series of course, aims to provide a platform for team managers, leaders, and coaches to come together, share their experiences, and learn from one another. The session takes place every fourth Wednesday of the month. So now I would like to go ahead and introduce our coaches for today's session. First up, we have Himani. She is our leadership coach, facilitative trainer, and keynote speaker with over 24 years of experience. She is dedicated to using applied neuroscience and emotional intelligence to help create thriving organizational cultures and individual success stories. She is a professional certified coach through the International Coaching Federation, which represents the gold standard for professional coaching worldwide. She is a certified and applied neuroscience coach, and she uses this powerful methodology in her client's coaching development journey to discover their noble goals. Then, second up, we have Naveen. He is our co-founder of Agile People Ops, who contributed in creating Agile People Ops framework. He's also an organizer of the HR conference People Ops Pulse and author of the Scrum Masters Journal. He works as a consultant and coach in the US, helping organizations transform and adopt business agility. He also helps leaders and teams through his coaching and reflection skills to help them become better versions of themselves and make progress one day at a time. He loves coaching, and he went on to learn everything about coaching way back in 2014, enrolling in one of the best coaching schools in the US, and holds an ICF coaching certifications for the last 7 years. He has also served as a board member on one of the ICF chapters and volunteers for hundreds of pro bono coaching, helping individuals become better versions of themselves and grow in life. A very warm welcome to both our esteemed facilitators and to all who have joined us in the audience. Over to you, Himani and Naveen. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that wonderful welcome and wonderful introduction. I think we can move on to knowing our participants a little better, and we can do a small activity for that. Firstly, yes, happy holidays to all of you, and we understand it's a good festive time for all of you. So we will navigate today's journey, as the name suggests, through some fun activities and through some activities which will help you, understand this topic in a let's say in an exciting way, so that you keep yourself and us and we keep the session light and invigorating. Okay, so would any of you, let's put it this way, how many of you are members of a team? And if you are, maybe you would like to switch on your videos, if that's comfortable. And if there's something that is stopping you from doing that, that's all right. But then it would be nice to put a name to the, put a face to the name, sorry. All right. Anyway, let's go on to the second slide. And here is where you would need to do some action. Okay, before that, yeah, it's just about a little bit about our time together, which is, as I mentioned, some activities and a little bit about a project, Aristotle, which I'll talk about in a little while. Something about the concept of psychological safety. We have a little mentee exercise. We have a little poll coming up. A tool that we will introduce today so that you can take it back and use it at your workplaces, and a little bit a glimpse about our team coaching program. So that's what we have in offer. And in the next slide, I would like you to do this activity. If you could move on to the next slide. Yeah, so are we getting the slide in full? Yeah, we are. I'm sorry that the font is a little small, so let's get our best eyes on the screen. And we have an annotate function. Are you all aware of that function, annotate? It's right on top when you go to view options, and the second option there is annotate. Okay, so when you go to annotate, you get something like a toolbar in which there are these signs, and you can just pick up one of them, and you can kind of just pick up the toolbar. You can put a stamp, or there is something like a star, and you can just come and put it like this, like I have just done. Or you can use any other tool. Maybe Naveen can do a particular stamp, and one of us can do. So the question here is, as is mentioned in the slides, as a team leader or as a manager, or even as a member, we didn't put that out here, but very much part of being a team also. What is the emotions? What are the emotions? Actually, it's in plural because it's not one emotion that we feel, but what are the emotions that you are feeling in the, say, let's take a period of, say, the last month. Yeah. What is it that is coming up for you? And there are lots of words out here. Just choose some, whatever is coming up for you right now. So I'll just repeat what we did. We went to view options, we went to annotate, and then we picked up a tool here, which could be a star, which could be something else, which could be also draw. So if you're drawing, you could just, circle it like this. Sorry, my circling skills are not exactly a circle here, but you get the gist, you get the idea. So that's what we are doing out here. So we'll just take a minute more, and whoever is, we are all stamping. We can even put hearts. So this annotate function is pretty funky that way. We have hearts and we have stars. So I see a lot of stars coming over some particular words, which are nice. And I see that we're all moving towards the right-hand side, which is a very nice thing to notice. Yeah, okay, keep going. And I said, maybe you will need to strain your eyes a little bit, but yeah, it's also a eye test in that way. So it's an activity plus another activity. So, all right, okay. I like somebody who's talking about radiant energy. Would that person like to raise up their hand? It would be nice to see. How do I join the activity? Okay, you go to view options, which is on top of your screen, right on top, and then you go to the second part of it, which is annotate. And that's where you'll get a toolbar, and you can pick up a tool, any kind of thing, and then you can just either circle, stamp, heart, whatever that would be. Or you can just write it in the chat box if that's not coming up for you. And one of us will do that. We'll do the needful for you if that's not working. If the annotate function is not working for some people because of the phone, it sometimes just doesn't work if you're logging in from a phone. So that may be a little challenge. So we may need to just if you could take a screenshot of this, it would be nice, so that we can just, if we have time, we'll come back to it later. And I think we are, most of us have, I think, put in our inputs here. So I'll revisit this activity in a little while. I mean, this is what your emotions were saying about being a team manager and leader, and we'll just circle back to this as soon as we cover a little more ground. So we can move on to the next slide. Thank you for doing this. It looks quite colorful and starry now. So we'll just probably erase that's one disadvantage of using the annotate function, but yeah, we can just erase the screen here. And so while we erase it, we also have another activity from you, which is a poll. So if we could launch the poll and, just answer the questions as they come to you. So of course, these are written on the slide here, but you'll get it in the form of a poll, which is a Zoom poll. Basically, you just have to, come up with the tick the options which apply to you. So the poll is just coming up, and we will put a tick mark on whatever feels that, yeah, this has happened to me, or I feel this, whatever is coming up, you will, put a tick mark on that. So as soon as we get the Zoom poll going, we'll be able to,
Just one
take.
moment. Sorry
Sure.
about it, Himani. Just give me one moment for me to launch this
No
poll,
worries.
please.
You can actually, read, meanwhile, as the poll is coming up, the questions are okay, not there now, but we will have the poll coming up in just a minute. Lucas, I hope you were able to join the activity, or if not, sorry about that.
Yeah, and I think, Hemani, we should also tell the participants the goal of the activity is basically twofold. One is to gain the insight of your own experience, you as a leader, as a team coach, what are you going through? And number two, we all here are part of the committee of practice session, and we want to look at like how each of you are feeling and what you believe in terms of the question from the poll point of view. So this would set the stage for us to not only take you through the session, but also it will be helpful for us when we do a group activity or breakout session. We can take that as one of the data point.
Absolutely, that's a wonderful point. Yes, so it sets us to the stage for the rest of the activity, and also understanding where you are in the whole spectrum of things. So, and that is why the whole idea was to take you through these insightful questions, so that you're able to just think as to when and how, and if this situation has happened with you, and to kind of take it from there. Right, we'll just give it a minute more, and in case there's some technical problem coming in, then what we can do is we can go back to the slide, and we can take it from there also. So that's another option.
And actually, you know what, we can make me as a co-host, Carissa, or someone else on the call. If you're finding difficulty,
Me as well.
Yeah, we can launch the poll by ourselves actually.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Himani, you're a co-host. Maybe you can
Yes.
just try the.
Himani.
I'm not able to see the poll option here. I'm just going to try and find it in a minute.
And we just want to let Carissa, like everyone know about the Carissa. Carissa just joined recently to AAPF community as a community manager. The Mariana, who was superstar, she's on her marriage vacation. She's just getting married actually, so she is not there for 3 weeks. So whatever you're doing, Carissa, thank you so much, and thanks everyone for being patient.
Okay,
Okay,
can
I see the
everybody
poll now.
see the poll? Okay, it's
I
right
can
here.
see.
All right. So yeah, so it's being filled. See, these are some questions, and it says in the past month, have you? And then the statements are there. So let's see the result. You can choose multiple options, as you would have seen. So you would be able to participate as desired. Are you able to access the poll? I mean, I see about, some more people are participating. Again, if you're facing a problem with the poll because of the phone or something, then it may be because of that. The poll is not visible. Masala, is it visible now? We'll just give it a minute more because we have about 50% participation. Thank you, Lucas. Probably 40 more seconds, 45 more seconds, and we can. Okay, I am ending the poll now, and let us see the results. Are you able to see the results?
Himani, will you be able to share the results, please? Because I'm unfortunately facing some technical issues on my side.
Let me try.
But we can see the results actually.
You can, yeah. So it
Yes.
usually, sometimes it comes in a graph, but this is good enough. So we have about 71% people feeling that a helpful suggestion from me might not be received well, and we have a higher number for held back on giving a colleague honest and critical feedback. And what I am intrigued about is that none of us here feel that they have not admitted a mistake which colleagues might have learned from. So it's intriguing because different time, different results come. We do this poll pretty often in our workshops. So every time we get different results, but you get the general idea of, when we are navigating team dynamics in a team. And it's also interesting to know that, when you talk about pretended I understood something, I really didn't. Now, this is one of my personal favorites, because at times in meetings, especially when I was working in a corporate job, and the way you have to nod your head at times and pretending that you've understood, and when you've not, I've almost become a pro at it. So it really strikes me as humorous every time I share, do this poll. So, all right, so I'm stopping this sharing. I mean, these are figures, and these have come from you. So, and as we are, just sharing out here, and as I shared that we do this exercise in a lot of team dynamics workshops, and we get pretty similar results here. So I am just, stopping the sharing here, and we can come back to the slide. Okay, so this was the poll. And so just now to give you, as Naveen was sharing, a little bit of context as to where we are coming from, and he helped us with that. The idea of this, before we move on to Project Aristotle, was to be able to understand, your own ideas, and your own actually your feelings and emotions about being in a team. And everything that we've done till now, you've shared your insights, you've shared your feelings, you've shared what it is when you are working with a team member. And now, and as I said, these are probably universal kind of results that we get from most of the workshops. Similar to this, Google had conducted a study based on a large number of people and large number of organizations, and they really wanted to understand that what is it that helps teams work effectively. The whole idea of maybe even this workshop and lots of others you may have attended would be that, okay, how to be a better team member, team leader, team manager, team coach, probably later. But everybody wants to do that. They want to do the best they can in working in organizations. And surprisingly, they found that it's not so much as to who the team members are. Like, okay, that very, very experienced person is working, or this person or that person. It was based on certain factors within the team members, basically team dynamics. The team was responsible for whether the team is effective or not. Yeah. So, I mean, it came at that time when this project was done, as a very big revelation, because of course some work had been done earlier, but this study was very comprehensive, because they'd done another project before that, Project Oxygen, which was about what makes good managers, and that had been published, and a lot of research coming from that. So this again came as a big breakthrough. And what the 5 factors were, one is, of course, that we won't be going into detail about all of them, but I'll just, as it shows here, the impact the team has on each other, the meaning means that what the team understands to be its role with each other, dependability, that, okay, how they depend on each other, and the interpersonal dynamics, structure and clarity, are they clear of their role, and things like that. But today, what we're going to concentrate on is a factor that you just gave answers on, which is psychological safety. Yeah. And because that was one of the principal things that came out. The other factors are very important also. Perhaps in another session, we'll talk about those. But today, we're going to talk about psychological safety, which is really in the next slide. And first, we can probably see that, okay, like, when psychological safety is not there, is actually the answer that you all gave in the poll. That, okay, when I'm not speaking up in a meeting, or when I am not when I feel that my ideas are not accepted, or when I feel scared to put in something new from my side. So what I've just done is kind of consolidated that here in terms of probably what you can call as that, it's the bottom line of it says that it's not a good idea to question status and authority. And you would feel scared, or you'd feel upset, or you'd feel threatened if you're putting in something new from your side, because you will feel that your ideas are not being accepted. I think the next slide really talks about the definition, which behavioral scientist has given, which is Dr. Amy Edmondson. So what would be the opposite of it? The opposite of it would be a belief that an individual won't be punished, or laughed upon, or ridiculed, or just made fun of for speaking their ideas, their opinions and queries. All that you answered there was about that, okay, if I do this, then probably what will happen to me? After all, we are afraid of the repercussions, and that's why we don't speak. That's why we probably won't offer our ideas. And that's why then, as a result of that, the team suffers. The team effectiveness suffers, the team dynamics suffer, because I am not speaking because I don't know what you will think of me. He's not speaking because what the boss will think of me. And as a result, the whole dynamics suffers. So in other words, Dr. Amy Edmondson, she's done a lot of research on this. And maybe if you're keen and curious, you could read and Google her work up, because there's a lot of it which is available on the internet. And otherwise, of course, there's a whole book which she has written on psychological safety. So she calls it a climate where people are comfortable being and expressing themselves. And you would probably question that, how is it different than trust? So trust applies at a level where we talk about a foundation, talking about at a group level, that, okay, this is the basic of something. Trust becomes the foundation. While psychological safety is something that you experience on a dynamic one-to-one level every time you're, interacting with somebody. So it's a lot more dynamic than what we call as looking at, trusting somebody if innately. And of course, we can move on to the next slide. Now, this is the psychological safety is a very big, when I say big thing, it's the nature of it is that if it is there in a team has the potential of doing very well. So what we are trying to do out here is just introduce you to the concept and hopefully take back something, one, about its importance, And second, to be able to understand that, okay, there could be these some, I mean, I put up about 5 pointers here, which could be used, which could be kept in mind when you are going back to your workplaces, either as a team member or as a team leader or as a team manager. Please remember that all these points are equally applicable for each member, because these are about team members more than, I mean, they are about team leaders, of course, because they execute such ideas. But even as a team member, I can make my mark by as the first point says, that I include everyone, make sure to ask everyone's opinion. So it's a very simple thing, actually. If a meeting is happening and I just ask, what do you people feel? And, a particular company that I work with, they have green flags. Every time somebody wants to make a point, they just put up their flag and say, because sometimes to speak out and to put your hand up or to just say something feels a little intimidating. So they have the green and, flag, or the red flag also. Sometimes if they are asked, they just simply put the red flag that, no, right now I don't have anything to say, which is safer because, you might be questioned as to why aren't you saying something. But putting a flag out, I just felt that it was very simple, but very effective, And of course, inculcating a safe place, like we know that we're not getting robbed or we're not getting, hunted in the day. But safety for us as human beings is one of the prime needs. We're born with that need, and we probably always have that need lifelong because our brains are primed that way. That we want to be in a safe place. And safety here means emotional safety. It means psychological safety. Again, that's why the word, that if I am making a mistake, I'm only human. So I shouldn't be penalized for it to that extent that, I am going to get into major trouble, or I have, I'm not allowed to make a mistake only, because that would be probably making the whole situation really very, very frightening for me. And then I wouldn't feel safe. So which comes to our next point, that, I'm not working in a fearful environment. Again, fear reduces productivity very badly. So when I'm working in a fearful environment, I am not likely to be very productive, could leave a lot of room for people to burn out, to leave jobs. And our study shows, in fact, I've worked in organizations where we've had to find out what is the reason why people are leaving so much. Psychological safety, the lack of it, is one of the major reasons that does come out, in this part. And again, when you admit to your mistakes, it makes others feel comfortable disclosing their failures too. This was one of the points that was there in your Zoom poll. That, look, if I made a mistake, I can actually admit it and say, okay. So and actually more for the team leader or the manager, I say that, okay, I'm the guilty one this time. I did this. And I will know that 10 other people in the next 10 days will come up to me with something or the other. And it's worked. It always works, because you are the role model. You're setting the example. You're putting yourself as being vulnerable. And vulnerable leadership is being talked about so much these days. You must have also, heard about it. And of course, the point of being available. I mean, this is one of the cornerstones of leadership, that, you are, if my doors are open, and these days, again, open door policies, horizontal leadership, where you're saying that come in anytime, talk to me about something. Of course, I feel that we have our boundaries there also, and we should have people knowing that they can come to me for anything, but you won't get all the answers all the time. And that will be another topic that we have for you. We will touch upon that. So these are some of the pointers that we had for you. And now we'd like you to share with us what is coming up for you. Like, we have a mentee exercise for you. And we'd like you to share in this that what are the 2 things you can encourage in your workplace as a team member, as a team leader, as a team manager, even a leader as a coach approach, which you would like to do towards contributing towards fostering psychological safety in your team and in the larger scope, your workplaces. Is the link in the chat box? Is it there?
Yes, I think the link has been published. So thank you, Himani. So all we need to do is we need to go to the Zoom chat box. There is a link, and then in the shortest way possible, just let us know what you feel about how you are going to take the action on these 2 things. And Himani, I think in the interest of our time,
Yeah.
just take a look at the slides also, probably you might want to cover the most important things first.
Sure. So the next is we will just move on to leader as coach, and you could take it from there. We're not really having the breakout room activity because this is covered in the mentee itself. And that's why we thought that we could cover it in here where people just give their ideas. Yeah, as people are sharing, there's open communication, collaborate effectively, and have team members speak up. These are excellent points. And what we could do is we could probably leave this mentee open for people to be able to contribute so that we have a word cloud and we could send it to the participants even later so that people get these ideas, and have them with them even later. So through email, we could send them this and people could keep capturing these them in a word cloud. And right now we can move on to the leader as coach part of it.
I agree on that. Thanks, Himani. So yeah, the whole activity was basically encourage you to take from the psychological safety concepts, what action you could take to create that yourself. I'm sure most of you are either a manager or a leader, and you may be leading a team as part of your activities, as part of your role in the organization. So what you will do, basically, psychological safety is very important as a leader or a manager. And the modeling the behavior, which Himani was trying to say, walking the talk, right? If you don't create that kind of a climate, you will never be able to take the maximum potential out of your employee or the team member. Carissa, go to the next slide and let me talk about the leader as a coach. So these are the few things which are very important for you as a leader of a team to be effectively getting maximum or most out of your employees. Building a high emotional intelligence. As a leader, it's very crucial for understanding and managing the emotions effectively of your team. Why? Because it will not only gain you some kind of emotions of a team, what's happening, what are the patterns you're seeing, how you could help the team members to communicate, collaborate. Somebody wrote beautifully, right? Open communications and effective collaborations, and also understand how the behaviors of the team may impact on other people or other team members. So you have empathy and conflict resolution ready, basically. The open-ended questions. As a leader in the olden days, let me take a step back for 15 seconds. In an olden economy where it was a mostly manufacturing-driven economy, now we are in a knowledge-driven economy. In manufacturing-driven economy, it's all about producing a product. So a manager or a supervisor knew exactly what his or her team member needs to do. But in knowledge era economy, there are so many complexities involved, right? And we need to be agile. We need to have some kind of flexibility with all the challenging external factors affecting the work and the work environment. So asking open-ended questions becomes very critical because when you encourage this kind of open-ended questions related dialogue, you not only gain the deeper understanding of the issue at hand, but also by having this kind of a characters, you can go ask your team members to express themselves, their ideas, which you may not be getting at all, right? Sometimes it will be like a brilliant idea where you have not thought about it based on your experience or all this thing. So when you create that kind of environment, you're also increasing the collaborations and getting a lot of ideas. Focusing on the strengths. We all know it's agile world, and we need to respond to the change very fast, right? So when you focus on your strength as a leader, you're focusing your team members' strength and boosting the morale and the confidence of doing what they could do better. And you're maximizing the productivity and the effectiveness of the team which you're delivering so that you are not only making progress on your goals or your project milestones or activities, but also taking most out of your team members' individual skills and the talent. The another one is the co-creating development plans. See, as I mentioned, in the manufacturing era, you as a manager or supervisor, you had end-to-end plan in front of you. But in this knowledge and evolving work culture, when you create those plans, it goes for a toss. Believe me, I have seen hundreds of teams for last 15 years in working in agile mode. And whenever you create an end-to-end plan, it goes. That's why we do a shorter sprint cycle, right? And then we evolve those plans based on how the responding to the change, internal changes happening. So this way, when you respond to the change, you're always aligned to the goal. Providing feed forward more than feedback. Does anyone want to throw like why feed forward is more important than the feedback? Okay, I can probably uh, if everybody's shy, let me take it up. See, the feedback is about the past, right? You are trying to bring out a point, not a criticism as a right word, or not a blaming as a right word, basically, but feedback is all about the past. But feed forward is about like, hey, in the past, he has faced this challenge. We as an individual or a leader, we responded in a certain way. So instead of telling that way, what you could say is like, hey, we had a challenge in the past and we had XYZ impact on whatever we were doing. And to ensure we move ahead without such obstacles or issues in the future, let's plan. So there is two different things. In one, you're telling what went wrong. In other, you are just creating a plan on how do we respond in future. The last one is as a leader of a team, empowering people. You know, this is very, very important because when you empower the team members and delegate the authority, the decision making is makes the team members as kind of a code, and you are transforming accountability of you as a leader or a manager to the team members because they are co-owners. So that would help them to not only have a complete ownership of the way they need to do the task based on the goal, but also maybe come up with some ideas and innovation, some kind of a creativity to get things done. Not only that will help you to move and make a progress on a goal, but also brings up the higher job satisfaction for the team members because now they are able to share the ideas, they are able to implement them in a nice safe environment basically. So these are all are very important in this new world of work environment basically. And that's what Amy Edmonston has done that from her research. And this research was done prior to COVID. Now think about a COVID where the work environment has become more dynamic, right? Where people are flexible to work from home. Some people come and go in some of the work weekdays. Some people are basically choose however they like it. Some organization makes a mandate to be in office in a hybrid mode like Tuesday to Thursday. So it becomes more challenging as a leader to gain the self-awareness basically on these effective ways to coach your team. Any questions or any additional thoughts you have, whatever I just mentioned?
Judy has made a wonderful point about feed forward, which is there in the chat. So, yes.
Hey, thanks, Judy. Sorry, I was just speaking. I didn't see that. Thank you. But yeah, I agree. Future, cool. All right. We can go to the next slide. Do you want to take that up, Hemani? Or you want me to take it up?
As comfortable, you can take it up.
Okay, I can take it up. Yeah. So how many of you know Grow model? Just raise your hand. Anybody in here who's a trained coach? They may know about this. Lucas, thank you. Cool. Yes, the Grow model is basically one of the most famous coaching models. And this was developed like at least 3-4 decades. And it is still very much used for even as a leader, as a coach. Now, why? It's very as simple as you can see. The GROW is an acronym for the this model. G stands for goal, R stands for reality, and O stands for options, and W stands for will. So, as a coach, as a coach or as a lead, a coach for your team, when you set a goal, you just mention, what do we want to achieve, right? It could be a project, it could be a small task, it could be even the meeting, basically, right? When you set and create that agenda, that nails down how effectively you're going to spend the next 30 minutes, 1 hour, or next 1 month based on whatever activity you're doing. Even for our this session, we had an agenda basically, right? because that's what the goal is about, like how we are going to behave for the next 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 month in our project. The reality, right? What is happening now, right? What resources we have? We have a goal, so we need to do some kind of a assessment. What's happening? What we have, and how can we make a progress? That kind of uh, self-questioning comes into the reality. And the options, you know, what ideas we can come up with to achieve or make a progress for our goal. The will is like basically it could be effectively as a team or even individually, because we all are made up of team members bringing all our unique skills to make a big one team skills, right? So as an individual or as well as a team, what are the how are we going to commit basically, and what we are going to do? It could be he or him or her basically. So that's what it is. From a leader point of view, asking these questions, trying to use this model for every meeting, for every project task, even for the milestones becomes very, very important. You can go to next slide. Okay, so when you come up with a grow model, as I was telling you, you're not in any more a manufacturing era. You're in a knowledge era. So you cannot set those all those questions by yourself. So how do you use your team to set the goals, reality, options, and will to create that open communication and collaborative approach, basically, right? So you need to use a powerful questioning technique, right? Instead of setting, hey, this is the goal. We are going to meet for 1 hour and discuss about the project activities. Instead of telling that, hey, you know what, we are meeting here, and what exactly what we are going to do. And once we meet here, what is exactly what we're going to take out of this 1 hour? What's the outcome of it, basically? So when you create that kind of a communication and collaborative environment, everybody is going to contribute, and they're set the stage properly. Instead of you telling, we are going to meet here and talk about the project activities. The reality, what are the key things we need to know? Once you start setting up the goal, the team members will automatically will tell you, hey, what are the things we need to do? What are you mentioned the outcomes, right? So in the outcome, what exactly we need to do? For example, if you want to ensure we manufacture a good car, right? So what do you mean by good car, right? What we have right now and what you're trying to improve, all those comes up basically. And the options, um, if you have magic wand, what you would do? It's a beautiful, because people, this will help you to not only ask the right powerful question, but also it will set the creativities of the team members to the next level. If you have magic wand, what you would do? That could bring up lot and lots of ideas out, basically, right? And what you will do specifically, right? What you're doing here, you're empowering, you're creating the co-accountability with the team member, basically in a team environment. What you will do, because you're bringing unique skills, so what you'll do for the given goal, right? So when you ask these kind of questions, and I've seen once actually, when there was a conversation going on, um, a team member asked, hey, it's a good that you're asking about telling and sharing about this idea, and we are also talking about what we next steps we are going to do, but what exactly is your contribution, because this seems to be a little bit complex for me and I don't know anything. So even when the team members are empowered, they can ask the questions like this with each other. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry, just getting something in my throat. Sorry about that. Any questions, or we can just move on to the next slide?
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Hemani, over to you, actually. I just need to get some water.
No worries. So, so I do hope that you would have got some useful insights about what we discussed today, because we started from getting your ideas and understanding about how you're feeling, and it connects to being a team leader and becoming a team leader if you're not one already, and a manager. And we understood a little bit about team dynamics, where we talked about some of the components which come into play when we're talking about team effectiveness and team dynamics. This plays a very powerful role. And we discussed certain factors. We took up psychological safety as our key discussion point today. And we discussed that what research has been done upon it. using Project Aristotle as a reference point, and we discussed about how to increase psychological safety. I would, please request you to take over the Menti slide, the Menti part of it, and do fill it up with your inputs so that we can send the filled word cloud to you as, as a little offering of what you have harvested collectively in this session. And after that, we came to this very, very relevant part of you as a team leader, manager, member also, becoming a leader, acting as a team leader in your organization. And please remember that it's one of the roles that you play, because you're playing a manager's role also, you're doing a leadership role also. So it's one of the hats that we wear as a team leader or as a team manager. So you take off your functioning hat and you wear a coach's hat. And that's actually something that we may not be trained for, because as Naveen was saying, we are used to the telling mode. We are not used to asking questions that, okay, what are your ideas? Because it's actually much faster and much more convenient at times, and we are rushed for time. Time becomes the biggest factor. So it's easier to tell a person, okay, do this, finish this, by evening, this should be done. But it really doesn't bring up your team members to the capacity that they can work in. And as a result, they don't understand their role. And as a result, they feel that we don't contribute. And that leads to a cascade effect where they are feeling very undervalued, demotivated, and lots more happens, which leads to a lack of psychological safety. So that's why these things are connected, where how psychological safety and your leadership plays a very big role. Because the moment you start motivating your team members to talk more, to be able to open up more, make mistakes, own up to whatever is happening, you will encourage them to be, as a coach, you will encourage them to be more and more open. And that would bring up the morale of the workplace, and that would increase the team dynamic. So that's why this whole topic was interconnected. And that's what I shared in the beginning, that we'll come to why we are sharing these emotions, which you shared in the beginning. And maybe you could, go back and think that, okay, how do I want to really feel in my workplace? What are the emotions that I really want to feel when I go to my team place? So this was our little attempt into bringing you closer to what team dynamics is and what a leadership role, or what a coaching role of being a team manager or a team leader is. And of course, there's loads more to follow, which is why we've shared about the upcoming team coaching program, where of course, as we said, this was just a little glimpse. The entire idea is in this program to understand from the basics of what a team is, to what, how successful teams are, what makes a real team, to moving on to then understanding different team development modalities, and then finally moving up to the team coaching aspect of it. Some of us may want to become professional team coaches, some of us may not. But the idea is that in your organization, in the role that you have today as managers, as leaders, as team members, there could be a coaching element. There would be actually a coaching element that always comes in. And that is the role of the future, because leadership coaching is something that is not only for just team coaches. It is there for everyone. And if we don't play that role, then somewhere we are not actually managing to become the leader that we can be first. And also we are not serving our people the best, because we are not honing their potential. We are not letting them be who they can be. So that is why coaching leadership is coming up more and more, in especially like the VUCA economies that we live in today, because everybody has, and especially also with the generational, differences in workforce that we have. We talked about it in another, session, where a particular generation might want a different style of leadership. And then this leadership style comes in very, very effective. So this is what we wanted to share here. You could, scan these and, could take the details of this. And I'm sure in the mail that follows, you can get all the details of the program from us as well. So this is what I wanted to share today. If there are any questions, any doubts, any clarifications, I'm here, Naveen is here. This is some reading recommended, or, just advised reading, which would help you understand a little more about the coach approach to leadership, and also some case studies if you're interested in them. Thank you so much. And thank you, Judy. Thanks for your encouragement.
Good. Can you quickly go back to that CSTC slide one more time, Carissa? So I'm going to take like 30 seconds. We are calling this program as Certified Systemic Team Coach for two simple reasons. One is not only you as a leader or manager to become more as a team coach, but also understand the dynamics involved in the organizations from a systemic point of view. Um, this program is a bit unique for three simple reasons. What not only we provide you the systemic view when you are operating as a team coach in the organizations, number one. Number two, also how do you as a leader and a team coach can create a coaching culture within the organizations, especially when the organizations are becoming more and more learning organizations to be more agile, right? So how do you respond to those dynamic changes? That's why we are doing that. Third important thing is this course is completely aligned to International Coach Federation's team competencies. Whatever we are going to teach you, it is all aligned to those competencies, and this program has been created because we are going to get we applied for the accreditation, and we are positive we are going to get even the accreditation for this program. So whomsoever takes that the course now, in future they will get even the ICF certification. They have different sets of additional requirements to become the ACTC. That's what they call it. But this program is even aligned to that International Coach Federation, so that you are learning from the best. This is about the program basically where you learn everything. But every fourth Wednesday, we are going to give you some part of our programs to you, but it will be spread throughout the year. And you're going to learn two things if you're observed. Our committee of practice is completely observed on two small topics. One is how do you become a leader as a team coach, plus what you need to develop as the characteristics to become that really great, effective coach. Both understand the team coaching as well as you becoming this one. But thank you. We had a great session today. Thanks for all the questions and thanks for your patience. And Happy New Year. We'll meet you in next year, 2024, on the fourth Wednesday. Thank you, Carissa. Thank you, Mani. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. Thank you, everyone. Wish you a very happy new
Have a good
year in advance. Thank you so much.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Okay, so just back to my slides, just one moment. There we go. Okay, so just one moment for me. And I'm back. Thank you very much, everyone, for your patience. So is my screen visible to everyone, and am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And we can see your stream as well.
Okay, thank you so much for your feedback. Okay, so first of all, I would like to just extend my heartfelt thanks to Himani and Naveen for a remarkable session. It has truly been an eye-opening and enriching experience for everyone in our audience. And I hope that is true. I do believe so. So I'd also like to express my gratitude to each one of you for being part of today's session. Your time and active participation are deeply appreciated. And we hope that today's session was both informative and engaging for you. So as usual, we would like to have your feedback. That is quite important to us. There will be the feedback form link will be pasted in the chat box. I just want to check whether that is the case. Okay. So please do complete that. For us, we do appreciate your insights, and we do learn and grow from every situation. Okay, so as you can see, our upcoming event is the Coaching Communities of Practice webinar event, and it is entitled Uncover Your Purpose through Connecting with Your Being, and that takes place on January 10th in the new year at 12 p.m. EST. So you can scan there the QR code to register, and our speaker will be Suna. So we invite you to join us and embark on this transformative journey where we delve into the profound connection between being and doing. In a fast-paced world, it's easy to lose sight of ourselves amidst the chaos of constant activity. So discover the power of balance and unlock the key to a purposeful life by reconnecting with your authentic being. Like I said, you can just scan the QR code there. So what's next? On January 24th, we have our next Team Coaching Communities of Practice session. And please do stay tuned. Look out on our webpage for more information with regards to that webinar. Okay. So we will be sharing the recording of the session with all participants who have registered. We will also upload the session on our Agile People Ops YouTube channel. And thank you once again to all of you for your patience and for sharing this moment with us. Have a wonderful day ahead, and wishing you the best for 2024 to come. Thank you and goodbye.